Hi all, this is Tim and welcome to my first genealogy research tip video. This one goes out to those of you who are browsing through old census records. Keep in mind, old census pages are sometimes out of order. If you are browsing from one page to the next, check to see if the dwelling numbers carry over. If you see any suspicious jumps in the dwelling numbers, search nearby pages for the correct dwelling numbers. Why are the pages out of order? Well, I'm not a document historian, so I don't know exactly why they're out of order, but I have some suspicions and I'll tell them to you at the end of the video. First, let's look at an example of this. I'm going to use this library version of Heritage Quest Online to show you what happens. In the 1850 census, I'm going to search for a relative of mine by the name of Samuel Eisenberger, who lived in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, and search. He's the first hit. Let's view his record. Okay, his family is purported to be down here. These are the household members: Samuel, Anna, Abraham, Margaret, and Catherine. Let's take a look at the original document to see how that compares. Now, this is an 1850 census sheet. I'll show you the header here. Okay, that's what it looks like. Free inhabitants, West Hempfield Township, Lancaster, in September of 1850. Scroll down to the bottom of this page and you will see the Eisenberger family: Samuel, Anna, Abraham, Margaret, and Catherine. Now, when you see a family at the bottom of the page, your reflex should be to view the next page of the census to see if the family carries over to the next page. Before we do that, take a close look at this dwelling number, 243. Remember that when we move to the next page. Okay. Moving up to the top, and we will see the first name on the following page is not Eisenberger. There is an Eisenberger here, but I think that's a coincidence. Okay, check out the dwelling number though. It's jumped from 243 to 280. So we're missing nearly 40 houses. Well, what happened? The pages are out of order. Okay. The Eisenbergers lived in dwelling 243. Well, where's dwelling 244? It's actually back a few pages. So I'm going to bounce back to page 32. Here you see dwelling 244. Okay, and take a look at the family at the top here: Anna Eisenberger, Elizabeth, Mary, Henry, and Peter Mumma. This is actually continuation of Samuel Eisenberger's family. The pages are out of order. Instead of moving forward, we had to move 3 pages back to see the rest of this family. And take a look at this gentleman, Peter Mumma. This is the father-in-law of Samuel Eisenberger, a very interesting person to find in this census at the ripe old age of 81. And he would have been completely missed if we did not search for the correct dwelling numbers. So, it's a little tip for you: when you are viewing your census pages and you feel you need to move to the following page, while you're doing that, do be sure to observe the dwelling numbers to make sure that they carry over. Sometimes these pages are out of order. Now, why are these pages out of order? I've done some Google research, which is not necessarily authoritative. If anyone knows any better than I do, I would love to hear from you in the comments. But What happened in this case, I believe, is that the original census pages were put out of order before they were bound into large books. Okay, so the process is, first all these large pages are filled out by a census taker who takes them around a neighborhood. They are then compiled and bound into large books. After they are bound into large books, the pages are stamped with a rubber stamp, every other page at the top right of the page. So if I move my page here back to page 32, take a look at these stamped pages. Okay, 177. This is the beginning of the Eisenberger family, or I should say the middle. No stamp there. 178. Here's the rest of the Eisenberger family, or I should say the beginning. Okay. This stamp is 179. Okay. No stamp on the next page. Then 180. So you can see that the stamps are in order. Okay, they were just put out of order. The pages were put out of order before the census was bound into a large book. So when the book was microfilmed, the microfilm images are also out of order because the original pages were out of order. Now, some genealogy sites have gone the extra mile to rearrange these pages. Now, when I first saw this record on Ancestry.com, I did not have to think about this. They had already arranged the pages in the correct order. Other websites like this Heritage Quest are not doing that for us. And I suspect that archive.org will not do this either. That site just takes the microfilm and presents it as is. So if the pages are out of order in the microfilm, the pages are going to be out of order on some of these websites. So in that case, just be sure as you're flipping through these pages that the dwelling numbers line up. If you see a large gap in your dwelling numbers, just do a little search a few pages before, a few pages after, to see if you can find where those dwelling numbers ought to continue. And then you'll be able to piece together the whole family. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this helpful.